Gather round, sons and daughters of the soil. The moon rises over the palm trees, and the ancestors are whispering again. This tale is not just a story, it is a warning, a mirror, and a tear wrapped in words. In the heart of Delta, where the earth drinks palm oil and spirits walk by night, there lived a man called Effie. He was not rich, he had no mansion, but what he had was a heart bigger than 10 compounds. And what did this heart cost him? Everything. Listen now, for this is the story of the man who raised another man's children and was left to die alone. Effie was a quiet man, a palm wine tapper and farmer. He lived in a house built with mud and prayer. His days were filled with hard work, his nights with storytelling and dreams. Then came Ijoma, a beautiful widow with 2 children, Chisom and Adaeze. She carried sorrow in her eyes and silence in her soul. Everyone warned him, do not marry her. She has 2 children. She comes with a past. But Effie answered, I am not marrying her history. I am marrying her humanity. And so he married Ijoma. He gave those children his name, his roof, his strength. Though they shed no blood, he became their father in heart and in deed. Quote, proverb, the man who plants kola in another man's farm does not do so for harvest, but for love. The cost of sacrifice. Effie sold his father's land to pay Chisom's boarding school fees. He worked late into the night so Adaeze could study nursing in Asaba. His clothes tore, his back bent, he developed cough from sleeping in the cold, but still, he smiled. Every report card brought him joy. These are my children, he would say proudly in the village square. Even when his own brothers mocked him, you are wasting your life on another man's seed. He held his peace. He taught them values. He prayed over them. He laid hands on their heads and declared, you will go farther than I ever could. But while he was building their future, Ijoma was digging his grave. The affairs of the night. Effie began to notice things. Iheoma's late returns, her sudden phone calls, her perfume changing. One night, he returned early from tapping. Rain drenched him. He approached the house and heard laughter. A man's laughter. He stepped in. And there she was, on the bed, half covered, another man sleeping out the window like shame. She didn't cry, she didn't beg. She said, you are not my real husband, these are not your real children, what will you do? Effie didn't raise his voice, he didn't strike her. He quietly packed her clothes, gave her money, and said, return to your people. I release you in peace. Goat proverb. Even the lion walks away when the goat loses its value. The road to tragedy. She drove away that morning in a friend's car, Daisy and Chisom in the back. But life has its own roads. Just before Opi Junction, the car collided with a tanker. Ijoma died instantly. The children survived. Effie was called. He collapsed, but fate wasn't done. On his return journey, his car skidded off the wet road and plunged into a ditch. He survived, but his legs did not. Paralyzed, alone, abandoned, the pain of being forgotten. Chisom blamed him. "You sent her away, you caused this," he screamed. He left with Adaze. Neither of them returned. The house became quiet. Lizards kept him company. His tears became his pillow. He fed on the kindness of neighbors. But even they grew tired. He prayed, sang hymns, hummed his mother's lullaby, but no one came. Here, the goat that once fed a village is forgotten the moment it dies. The dream of fire. Years passed. Adais was now a nurse in a private hospital. Chisom lived in Lagos, both successful, both silent. Then one night, Adaize had a dream. She saw a man crawling in chains. Fire surrounded him. A voice roared, "You abandoned the man who gave you light. Shall you now walk in darkness?" She woke up shaking. That day, she bought garri, rice, ointments, and cloths. She traveled back to Uguton. When she saw Effie, she dropped everything and wept. His body had decayed. His eyes were hollow. But when he saw her, he smiled. "My daughter, you came." The refusal of a son. Adaize cleaned him, bathed him, fed him. She paid carpenters to fix the roof. She became his legs, his laughter, his redemption. She called Chisom. He said, "I have no father in Ugoton. Let him die." She cried, begged. He hung up. A tree that forgets its roots will be uprooted by the wind. The sons of Chisom had 2 sons, but they were cold, disrespectful. One slapped him in front of guests, another stole from him. One day, in the middle of a rainstorm, they locked him outside. He banged the gate and screamed, "I am your father." But no one came. He sat in the rain and wept. Then he remembered the man who raised him, the man he abandoned. Too late. Chisom rushed back to Ugoton, but it was too late. Effie had died quietly in Adai's arms. At the funeral, Chisom cried like a child, "Forgive me, Papa, forgive me." But the earth remained silent. Forgiveness came too late. What is the worth of a father? Not in blood, but in love. Not in name, but in sacrifice. Honor those who raised you. The pain you plant in another man's house will grow in yours tomorrow. Sit with this story a little longer. Imagine giving your all to children who did not share your blood, but you loved them, clothed them, fed them, and in the end, they forgot the hands that held them. How many people walk away from their blessings simply because it didn't come in the form they expected? How many parents are crying in silence, abandoned by the very ones they fought for? In this life, goodness is not always rewarded instantly, but heaven takes notes for every tear shed in secret, for every betrayal endured in love, for every seed sown in another's life. God remembers. So reflect on this. Have you honored the ones who loved you when you had nothing? Have you called the one who raised you recently? Or are you too busy living a life someone else paid for? One day, we all become stories. The question is, will yours be a warning or a legacy? Let your conscience answer. Share this story. Leave a comment with the word honor. And if your father, your mother, your uncle, or anyone ever carried you when they had no strength, call them today. This is Esemilans Folktales, where the soul of Africa lives on in every story. Like, subscribe, and never forget, the tales we tell are the warnings we need.